In this video, I'm going to show you how to clean your throttle body on your Infiniti JX35 and QX60. This is an essential thing to do to maintain the performance of the car, maintain a smooth idle, fuel economy, and just for general maintenance. And this is all right now on Nexus Auto. So what do you need to get this job done? Well, everything you see here. So you need some sort of a rag or something. This is to cover the mass airflow sensor. Some clean cloths to clean the throttle body and also to plug it up, you'll see. A ratchet, a small extension with a 10mm bit, a 10mm wrench, throttle body cleaner, a Phillips head screwdriver, a nylon brush to scrub your throttle body, pliers of some sort, and either, for the hose clamp, either a flathead or a 8mm bit on a screwdriver or a socket. Alright, so first we need to take off the cover for the engine. So there's 4 bolts to take it out. There's 2 in here, 1 in there, 1 in there, and there's two down here, 1 there and 1 there. So obviously you want to make sure the engine's cold. I mean, you could take this out if you want to, but I think if I'm going to just reach in here with my ratchet, or I'll probably use a ratchet wrench and just go in there, and it'll just be, save myself having to take apart this, because you really can do this job without having to take this off. So we'll begin with that. Okay, so we go here. All come off relatively easy, they're not very tight. And just a reminder, it's a 10mm, as I said before. One out. Two out. Let's see about doing these 2 under here. Go to the far one first. Try with the ratchet first and see. Not a lot of room. Alright, and so I get this out now. To get it out of here without taking this off, just a matter of kind of lifting. And those 2 pieces at the bottom will interfere with this. So again, you can take this out if you want. If not, you just turn it to the side and just kind of, this is just plastic, right? So don't bend too much, but just kind of bend it over and then just kind of wiggle it out and it'll come right out there. Next, you've got to take out the cover here so you can get to the throttle body, which is back there. So you just need to release the rubber hose that's right there, that one. Unclamp this here. Take out, screw right back there. And then when you get up here, unscrew the mass airflow sensor. Once you get this out, you'll have a little more room to play, and you can just kind of move this around and unscrew the mass airflow sensor. Alright, we're going to go ahead and remove this clamp here first. So you just get something, pliers, something, squeeze the clamp, if you can see it there, and while it's squeezed, move the clamp back, so it's off to the side, and then just pull the hose right out. Alright, so we're just going to take out that clamp there by the throttle body, which is there. Now, it does have a slot for a flathead, but you can use an 8mm on it, 8mm socket. I'm using just on a screwdriver here. Just twist. And create some room. You won't have to take it off just yet. You're just taking that now because now you're going to take off the air box, which we will go straight to. Right here. And that's just by unclamping here, unclamping here, and lifting. Now if you loosen it enough, it should just come right off the throttle body. And hopefully I'll give you enough room now to get to the mass airflow sensor. Alright, so first thing you want to do is just, there's a clip back here. You want to see if you can just get that out, just put this flathead in there and just pry up. This will allow you to move this out completely and get full access to the mass airflow sensor. And there you just use a Phillips screwdriver which is the star point. See if we can get a good angle. It's kind of awkward here. See, can you guys see it? Those 2 screws. I'll do one. It's kind of awkward. I can't do the angle. I don't want to damage the air filter. It's kind of sitting on it right now. But you take 2 little screws out. One, and then you do the other one. Now what I do is, the mass airflow sensor you've got to be very careful with. You don't want anything to get on it, dirt or anything like that, because it can throw off the readings on the car. So normally I'll take a clean microfiber cloth and I'll just kind of wrap it up. Any clean cloth or anything will do. So I'm just going to do that now, but again, it's kind of awkward to do. I don't want to damage the filter. So no point in filming it, you can't really see it. So I'm just going to do it here. Right. So I'm just going to pull the mass airflow so you can see it out. Just pull it out nice and gently. Just going to take something, wrap it gently, don't press on it too hard or anything, and just lay it aside. And now we have access to the throttle body, which is now right there. So here's a couple things to note before you guys. So number one, at this point, if you want, you can choose to disconnect the negative battery terminal on your car for safety purposes, things like that. You can do that. It wouldn't harm anything. However, if you do that, make sure to take note of your settings in your car, things like that. The second thing, in particular, do not disconnect the throttle body actuator. If you do, you have to completely get it reprogrammed and everything like that. So you're doing this, whereas most cars, for example, if you saw I did it on the Trailblazer Grand Prix, I've done a few other cars, you can actually just do it right off the car. It's nice. This here you can't quite. So what you'll be doing then is you'll be taking a rag, stuffing it into the throttle body when you take it off, and then spraying and cleaning with a nylon brush. I'll show you guys all that though. Okay, and then you'll be using a size 5 bit just like this. And now, according to the manual, for whatever reason, you have to take it out very specifically, like this. And putting it on is the reverse. So you're going to go this bolt here, the lower right, top left, lower left, top right. I get tightening it up because that keeps it even, prevents any warping or anything. I am surprised disconnecting, they recommend the same thing, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. Some of these are really tight. Also be careful, you don't want to drop anything. Whereas, you know, older cars, you drop it, you can fall straight down into the onto the floor if you're lucky. This car has a cover underneath, right? So with that cover there, not going to be exactly easy to get that bolt. You have to drop the cover to get it back. So just be careful. It's a pretty long bolt. So you can see there. That's it. Put one hand right by the bolt just to grab it when it comes out. Sure, when you're getting them out too, they have a washer, so you're getting that washer out as well. Okay, and last one. So it seemed the two ones closer to the firewall actually came out pretty easily. The ones closer to the engine were tougher, and I suppose that makes sense if the heat of the engine is working on those bolts. Okay. Now, our throttle body is loose. Alright, let's take a look and see what we have here. There's inside the throttle. Looks pretty good. Not bad at all. Doesn't look too bad. We're still going to give it a good clean though, but not bad at all. Just put that aside now. Alright, so now we're going to begin the cleaning process. We're going to start off by cleaning the inside. So, like I said, because we're doing this with it on the car, a little annoying, it can be done. You're just going to take this rag and stuff it in here. This is to catch any fluid as we work on it. You don't want it falling in the engine or falling on your driveway. Now, and make sure to have some extra rags on hand as well. Okay, and now because we're doing it in here, you may get a little nervous with it. Just be careful, just be cautious, take your time. Right? At the same time, in kind of contradicting that, you want to make sure that you're not spending too long with it either. So I've got a cloth here. Just going to spray some, get everything ready. Spray some throttle body cleaner in here. Don't give it too long. So we'll get our brush and start scrubbing. Just use a regular nylon brush, don't need anything more. And I don't know if you can see, but you can see a lot. And a lot of stuff is just coming off of there. Hopefully you can see that. I think you can. See? There we go. And wipe up. Alright, so you make a couple passes on it. I'll give it another spray here. Make sure you have all your stuff you need. Brush. Don't use any metal brushes. You'll just end up scratching up the flap and everything, and you don't want to do that, even if it's not going to have any huge, big effect on the operation, unless you really damage it up. You know, it'll just damage the finish, and I don't know about you, but that stuff bothers me. So, you know, just stick to a nylon brush. You won't need anything more than that. Okay, and I'm just going to give it one more pass. Get into the corners, get as much as you can, much of the flap, around the edges, everything. Alright. Now, one question I got asked quite frequently in other videos is, after you do all this, do you need to do anything, reset the computer, do any relearns? Unless it's like really dirty, and I can't see that being on this car, you know, only from 2013 onwards, you shouldn't have any problems whatsoever with that. It should be all pretty straightforward, and the engine should pick up without any problems, right? So that's just in case you're wondering. There's no need to do any relearns or anything. Now there's a gasket back there as well, so make sure that the gasket hasn't come out, runs along back here. So just line that up. Get your first screw. Again, you're working off the top screw first. You tighten in that order, as I'll show you here. Specifically, make sure you do it in that order. But before I tighten this one completely though, I'm going to make sure that I get the second one fed in, because if you tighten the top one here and you tighten it all the way tight and you try and do that one and this is off a bit, then that bolt won't go through. But once you know both bolts are in, this one and this one, these two will go through and you can tighten up properly. So I'm just going to now grab the second bolt. see what I mean, right? So you can move. Okay. I've got it in, so I'm just now going to tighten this one up. I'm just going to go kind of like hand tighten now. And here. Next one here. And then the last one down here. Make sure you get the bracket. There's a bracket here. Make sure you get that as well. Do not use power tools, no drills or anything. You don't want to damage any of the metal here or anything like that. You don't want to over tighten. Once done though, just go in and make sure it's hand tight plus like a quarter turn. That's all you need, nothing more. Hand tight. Not even a quarter turn. Hand tight and like an eighth of a turn. I didn't block you guys there, just realized. Oh, no wonder it wasn't going. It's here. We're still not done with the cleaning of the throttle body. This part here won't get nearly as much build up, but it will have some. So we'll give it a quick spray in there. Make sure you don't get it doesn't run out. So have some cloths handy, and also make sure that you're not spraying onto any other components. Watch the plugs over here, anything like that. I'm just gonna spray it in there. I'm going to put a cloth here to get anything that runs off. I'm going to get my... You can see, you can still see it is quite dirty regardless, right? Not as bad though. And certainly not as the worst I've seen of any car. Okay, we get our rag. Just go in there and wipe up. This is in case anyone's watching and you don't happen to own this car, but you own other cars. I find that, interestingly, any cars with the old school throttle bodies need cleaning, but not nearly as bad. I find these new cars with fly-by-wire throttle bodies, all of them have these problems. They get a lot of carbon buildup and stuff like that. So, you know, it is something you have to do, I find, more commonly on the newer cars than you did on the older cars, interestingly enough. So, you know, this may be something that applies to you just for your vehicle. Got any newer cars or anything like that. Okay. And then I'm only going to do 2 passes in here. Again, judge it and see how it looks. Like the difference now, huh? So now insulation is all pretty much the reverse. So we'll start by the mass airflow sensor. So we're just going to bring this around here. Get our mass airflow sensor from within our rag. We're just going to install it. If you remember, it's 2 small screws with Phillips head screwdrivers. Will be needed. So here's the small screws. Phillips head is over there. Again, I'm not sure if you're going to see this all. I'll just keep it recording here, but I'm not sure if you're going to be able to really appreciate the installation there. And the 4 going all the way tight. And the other screw as well. this one up. Okay. Okay, now we got to install that little tab that's on the back here. So just bring that in and push it in. Should feel like it snaps, and then you're all set. Now you got to work the inlet hose over here. Just work that back onto the throttle body. Make sure it's good and snug all the way up. At this point, you can even just push this back in. Kind of hold things in place. Make sure it clips into the 3 clips at the back. And it clips on the front here. That should now be on nice and snug. We can also at the same time put that rubber hose back on over here. I'll just zoom it for you guys. That's this hose here. Clamps onto this little box. Okay, and then you get your pliers or channel locks, whatever's working for you. Put it all the way up. Clamp it. Make sure it's nice and snug. And you're just going to tighten that hose clamp. Make sure it's good and snug. Don't over tighten, just until it's pretty much hand tight. Then you want to go and just give this a tug and make sure it's good. Okay, and then this one here, installation is just as before. You come in from the side, get it kind of underneath this box here, and then bend this ever so slightly, just to get it around here, and then just let it kind of drop down, swing it. Installation. So now, same thing as 4 bolts. This one back here, you use the wrench for it, and then you can use the. I use the socket and the ratchet for the one under here, and then the with an extension for up here. So I'm just gonna do. I'll do 2 here. I'll just do this one down at the bottom here. Carefully, don't cross shred or anything. This I would go no more than hand tighten it. And I'll probably do a similar crisscross pattern. It's a plastic piece, but it's still, you don't want to like warp it or anything like that. It's a nice little piece cover for the engine. Okay, and then I'll take this off with the extension. So the cross I'll do is, when I'm installing this, is 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just gonna do the second one up here. Again, before you start going with the ratchet, just make sure it's fed in. You gotta find the so if you just kind of look through the bottom here, because I couldn't really find it. So if you look through the bottom, I should show you. I look from the side here, and you can see where the there it is. There's the opening. So it's just a matter of wheeling this around. There. Okay. Alright, so we'll just continue on. I'm just going to make sure I feed it in. Much by hand first. Then I'll get the ratchet. And again, you don't want to go over tight. It's good. And then I do the same for all of them, and then I'll make sure they're all tight. And that's it. Then your throttle body's nice and clean. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope this video has helped you out here today. Now let's go through some of the YouTube stuff, shall we? Don't forget to like and subscribe if this video has helped you out. And if you want to see my future videos, I try and put out one at least once a week. Make sure to hit notifications as well, just so you can get those videos. On the flip side to that, if you didn't like the video for whatever reason and you do dislike it, not a problem. Feel free to leave it in the comments of why you disliked it, whether it be something I did wrong, whether it's something you didn't like in the video. By all means, just let me know so I can keep making the best content possible. It's kind of the whole point of it, so make sure to do that. Speaking of the comments, if you have any questions, concerns, anything you want to add on, anything you see you can do better, anything that maybe you add on and it actually is worse, whatever it is, feel free to leave it in the comments. Nothing wrong with that. I always try and answer whenever I can. It may not be the same day, next day, whatever, but I try and answer all comments, so make sure to leave that as well. Once again, I want to thank you very, very much for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.